Hello and welcome to assetyogi.com. This is Mukul and in this video I will explain about Certificate of Completion. What it is, why is it required and how it differs from Certificate of Occupancy. I will also share few additional tips on how to take possession of your property the right way. So make sure to watch till the end and not miss on these useful tips. Let's get to it now.
Whether you have recently invested in an under construction property or whether you are planning to invest in a new property, you must know what is completion certificate. Many a times people confuse between completion certificate and occupancy certificate. However, both these certificates are absolutely different and we will see in this video how these certificates are different and why are they important. Now let us first understand what is completion certificate. When any builder plans to construct a building, whether commercial, residential, institutional or any other type of building or property complex, it must follow the building bylaws, master plan, development code of the city and any other regulations related to fire and safety rules, environmental regulations, etc., which are in force in the state or the jurisdiction. The builder has to follow all these regulations. Only then he can get the approvals for the construction of the building. So every builder before starting construction has to take approvals from the competent local authority. It can be the municipal corporation or development authority or town and planning department depending on the state or jurisdiction. Now to understand completion certificate better, let us try to understand the whole development and construction process of a building. So before taking approvals, the builder has to submit all the building plans to the authority that include structural plan, service plans for water supply, sewage disposal, electrical supply, gas supply, fire and safety plans and disaster management plan if it's a high-rise building. So all these plans will be submitted by the builder to the authority. Then the local authority, after studying these plans and other documents submitted by the builder, it issues the building permit to the builder, and this building permit is generally valid for 3 to 5 years depending on state to state. After getting the building permit, the builder completes the construction of the project within this time frame. Once the building is complete as per approved plans, the builder submits as-built plans and drawings to the authority. Then the local authority inspects the site physically and it verifies whether all the buildings and complexes are complete as per the approved plans. Then after the complete verification, the authority issues the completion certificate to the builder. Now before awarding the completion certificate to the builder, the authority ensures that the building is constructed as per the approved building plans and the building complies with all the building bylaws and other regulations in the master plan or development code regulations related to coverage, floor area ratio, setbacks that you have to leave, then open spaces, height restrictions, number of floors the builder can make, number of units the builder can make and the parking standards. So the authority ensures that all these regulations are followed by the builder and there are no violations. Only then the completion certificate is given to the builder. Now this is an ideal situation when the construction gets completed within the time frame given by the authority. But what happens if the permit lapses and the construction is not completed within the time frame? In that case, the builder can apply for revalidation of the permit and generally the revalidation is given for 1 year on payment of revalidation fee. Then after getting this extension, the builder has to complete the construction and again it has to follow the norms and the building has to be constructed as per the approved plans only. Only then he will get the completion certificate. Now there can be another problem. Suppose the building is not constructed as per the approved plans. Let's say there are certain shortcomings or let's say there are certain violations of the regulations. In that case, the authority can issue an intimation of disapproval to the builder and it can direct the builder to complete the building as per the plans and correct all the shortcomings. Or in some cases when the building is substantially complete and there are no violations generally, in that case the authority can issue a provisional certificate and generally this provisional certificate is issued for 6 months. So in such cases when there are few pending works like construction of clubhouse or some finishing works like painting, and the authority has issued the provisional certificate, or when the authority has issued the intimation of disapproval. In that case, the authority gives some time to the builder to complete the construction, and once the construction is complete as per the approved building plans and there are no violations of any regulations, the authority can issue the completion certificate to the builder. Then after getting the completion certificate, the builder also has to apply for occupancy certificate, and to get occupancy certificate, the builder has to ensure that the complex and the property is ready with all basic amenities like power, water, sewage, gas, and then the builder also has to take NOCs from various departments like Fire Department, Airport Authority of India, Pollution Control Board, and it has to ensure the compliance with fire and safety norms, environmental norms like rainwater harvesting, waste management or solar panels, and it has to take certificate from Electrical Inspectorate. So the local competent authority will issue the occupancy certificate only after it ensures that the building is safe and it is built as per the approved plans and it doesn't flout any norms and it is ready with all the basic amenities. So occupancy certificate is like the last stamp of approval from the local authority. I will cover occupancy certificate in more detail in another video where we will see what kind of documents are required for occupancy certificate and what can you do if your building doesn't have the occupancy certificate. Now let's see what is the importance of completion certificate. Why do you actually need it? First of all, completion certificate is required for legal possession of your property. Without this certificate, your property will not be considered authorized and it will be considered an unauthorized construction. Then to get occupancy certificate, again you need completion certificate, as-built drawings and NOCs from various departments. Then you need completion certificate to apply for electricity and water connections. Then completion certificate is also required to get income tax benefits, because before you get your possession of the property, you cannot claim income tax benefits. Then before you get your possession of the property, you will be paying high interest cost. So it is in your own interest that you push for the completion certificate as soon as possible. And without completion certificate, you cannot get insurance for your property. And you can also face eviction. The authority can actually ask you to vacate the property if you are occupying the property illegally. Because we have just discussed that it is not legal possession before you get your completion certificate. And without completion certificate, it will be very difficult to sell your property. You may occupy the property for some time, but when you go out to sell the property, generally people would ask for completion certificate. So completion certificate is absolutely necessary for legal possession of your property, and only then you can get all the benefits and you can sell your property. So suppose completion certificate is not awarded to a builder. In that case, as a property owner, let's see what you can do about it. As a first step, you can hold the final payment to developer, because generally in a construction linked plan, the final payment has to be made only after you get the possession. Then you should not take possession without completion certificate, because we have just seen that it is illegal to take possession of a building without completion certificate. Then you can form owners group or residents welfare association, because it is always better to represent in a group than as an individual. Then as a group or RWA, you can approach the local authority and you can ask what are the shortcomings and why completion certificate is not issued. And in case there are any shortcomings or violations of any regulation, you can take it up with the builder and you can ask him to rectify. And in certain cases, when completion certificate is not received by the builder and he has already offered the possession to the people and they are already living in the building, in that case, as a group or association, you can approach the local authority and tell them that you are ready to rectify any shortcomings. So it is in your own interest that you get all the shortcomings removed and get the completion certificate. You can get these shortcomings removed either as a group on your own if you have already taken the possession, and if you have not taken the possession, then you can push the builder to rectify all these mistakes whatever has happened. And suppose in certain cases the violation is not to a big extent, in that case the authority can allow by paying the penalty. So you can pay that small penalty as a group or as a residents welfare association, and get the completion certificate as soon as possible. Now, in certain cases, it may so happen that the owners have not taken the possession and the builder is also not listening to them. In that case, of course, there is only one recourse available to you, which is legal recourse. So you can approach the courts and claim damages from the developer. So the best way to avoid these legal hassles later, it is always better to not take the possession of the property without the completion certificate. Now let's see what is the ideal way of taking the possession. So when the builder approaches you to offer the possession and make the final payment, you should first ask him whether he has received the completion certificate. And only after you check the completion certificate, you should make the final payment. Then before the handover and registration of sale deed, you should also ask him whether he has received occupancy certificate. Because in most states, completion certificate and occupancy certificate are not mandatory to get the registration of your sale deed. So it can so happen that you don't have completion certificate and occupancy certificate for the building, but you may still become the owner of the property by getting the registration of your sale deed. So the builder will not have any incentive to get these certificates after he offers the possession. And once you ensure that completion certificate and occupancy certificate are received by the builder, only then you should go ahead with the sale deed registration, and only then you should sign on the possession letter and no objection certificate, and then only you can take the keys for your property. So ideally you should ask for the completion certificate and occupancy certificate before taking the possession. I hope that after watching this video you now understand what is completion certificate, how it differs from occupancy certificate, why these certificates are required, and what you can do when completion certificate is not awarded.
I hope that you found this video helpful. I actually had a lot of fun and aha moments while making it. I pretty much covered all major points on the topic, but if I missed something, please share in the comments below. If you liked the video, give a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so that you get latest investing tips straight to your inbox. Don't wait, subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.